Hey everybody, Harlow here with the speedrun for Detective Barbie 2, The Vacation Mystery. I start the game by skipping the opening cutscene. That's one of the few cutscenes of the game you can actually skip. And next I'll get the first painting piece with a minor puzzle over here. And you have to do this puzzle at the start of the game every single time you start the game. So, while this goes on, let me talk about the game in general. You'll notice I get a clue here, which is the front desk key. That means I'm doing the front desk puzzle first. So, you have 4 different possible painting puzzles to solve in this game. You have 3 different possible culprit chases in this game. And you have 4 or so find the room challenges in this game. So overall, you have several dozen pathways that this game can take. There are just lots of different options the game can choose from. Whenever you start the game, it randomly chooses which options it will go with, which puzzles you have to solve, what clues you have to find, so on and so forth. So for the purposes of the speedrun, you want a very specific pathway. You want to have the front desk puzzle first, and you want to have the lighthouse puzzle third.
Come on, let's get the rest of
so that happens less than 2% of the time. It's not a very common pathway. So for the purposes of a speedrun, basically you just need to be really lucky when you start the game. And I was not lucky. This was about my 70th attempt at the game before I got the ideal pathway. So I'm very glad with this speedrun. This first segment here has a mistake coming up, but I decided to keep it because, you know, it took me 70 tries to get this one pathway.
This front desk is usually such a busy area. I'm sure if you look carefully...
So I have to look at the solution to the puzzle here, because that solution changes every time you play the game. And I dropped the key there accidentally. That was the big mistake. It cost me a couple seconds.
Maybe we have to move the box.
So there are several different patterns you can have here. The fastest pattern is with 3 drawers. The one with the most drawers is about 8 or so that you have to move. So I got a relatively quick pattern there, and I'm happy with it.
Wow, we better
and you'll notice, once Barbie solves this puzzle, she gets thrown back into the room with the professor. So the first puzzle you solve is kind of isolated in that effect. It's like you leave the library, solve the puzzle, and then you go right back to the library. Now the second puzzle is a bit different. We have a culprit chase, and then the puzzle, and then Barbie gets thrown back to the library. So what you want to do is have a culprit chase, which is relatively close to one of the puzzles.
But I have to tell you all,
so that means you want one of the ballroom puzzles, because the ballroom is close to hang gliding and beach cruising.
Exactly like that.
You'll notice in the lower right-hand corner we have the hang gliding helmet, so that means we have the hang gliding puzzle right now.
Professor,
oh, and
we're going to split
take a look at this. Barbie's
going
to stop moving for a few seconds.
I hope we'll have some good news for you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We make a great team.
Yeah, so that happened because this game runs off of a CD, and the CD decided it needed several seconds to spin around and catch up with the game. That happens sometimes. There's no way to get around that. It's just the CD and the game. You know what happens when you run old games, right? You have to wait for the CD to keep moving. I shouldn't have to come. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here I'm saving my game, which is a minor skip because you'll notice when Barbie, when I restart the game, Barbie starts off in a different position. And I skipped the gondola scene of Barbie going up just by clicking, which was nice. That's a minor skip.
Watch out for the wind. Don't get caught in the current.
Hang gliding.
But if we do get caught in the wind, just roll the glider
by clicking the left mouse button. There are 3 different culprit chases in this game. You have the hang gliding, you have the boats, and you have the beach cruisers. So the boats and the beach cruisers both take 2 minutes to go through. Hang gliding takes 1.5 minutes. So for the purposes of a speed run, you want to do hang gliding. That saves you about half a minute. So like I said, you want one of the chases to be close to a painting puzzle. So that's either going to be hang gliding or the dune buggies. As you'll see when we actually finish this challenge, both the hang gliders and the dune buggies are relatively close to the ballroom puzzle. no matter what happens, you're going to have to walk across a large section of beach, and Barbie moves very slowly. So they're about equidistant just because Barbie walks slowly. But hang glider is slightly faster to have it first, because getting to the hang glider is slightly faster. But getting away from the hang glider is not faster. It's about the exact same amount of time. So what you want to do is be close to the culprit. That is, the culprit needs to be on screen at the end of 1 minute and 30 seconds. So you can spend most of your time just dilly-dallying to the side. It's not recommended to spend your time dilly-dallying to the side, but you can get away with doing that the whole time and just get really lucky at the end, which is sort of what happened there. So Barbie's movement. You'll notice Barbie started moving faster when she was walking towards the screen, and that's just how this game works in general. Barbie is slow when she's walking at an angle, but she's faster when she's going up, down, left, and right. So for the purposes of a speedrun, you want to maximize the time Barbie goes up, right, left, down. You want to minimize the amount of time she walks at an angle.
Great.
Okay, so what you're supposed to do here is actually look at the piano music to see what the music is. But that's randomly determined at the start of the game, so because I saved my game and played ahead, I know what the piano code is now, and I know what the lighthouse code is going to be now. So I'm going to save time by not looking up the codes because I already know them in advance.
Well, we can put that last piece in ourselves. We did it!
So one thing I haven't mentioned is the Gazebo Puzzle.
Did you hear that?
So the Gazebo Puzzle is one of the 4 possible painting puzzles you can get. It's not a realistic option because whenever you go to the gazebo, the game automatically crashes.
I meant to be here for your
which
return.
is a huge
You've
pain.
completed the painting.
So
And
one
look
of the
at
3
these
puzzles
symbols.
you have to solve
I
can
am
be the
just
gazebo puzzle.
baffled,
So you've got about a
confounded.
25%
What a puzzle this
chance
is.
of the game
I
being
have an
unsolvable
idea.
and
Let's
crashing
keep looking around
every
the
single
hotel for
time
more
you start.
clues. And Professor, you can try to
There's
crack
another
this
puzzle
code.
coming up
Team Barbie
which
Detective is
has a
totally on
minor
this case.
chance for you.
What a
Actually, it has the same
splendid
chance, I
idea.
think. 1 in 4
I hope I
of
have
you
a solution
crashing.
when you return.
I'm sorry, it's
There's so much to see here.
I think it's just crazy that the game has 2 different glitches, which give you a
wow.
1 in
There's a
4 chance
secret-
of crashing. And speaking of glitches, here, I'm actually going to save my game right before the lighthouse because there's a minor glitch which will cause the telescope to not work. And the way I found to get around this glitch is simply to quit the game and restart. And if you're on your first try, the puzzle
crime
will always
computer.
work.
What you have
If you're
to
on your
say
second
this
or third or
game.
fourth
Don't
try, the
reflect.
glitch might appear and
Gimme.
just crash the game. So, as I said towards the start of this run, you want to do the lighthouse puzzle third for the ideal route. That's
It's
because
empty.
after
What
you solve the
happened?
third puzzle,
I know.
you need to
Some
go to
thief
the
has
lighthouse
beaten us
and look
to
in the
it.
telescope.
Well, we need to catch
So it's a
that
huge
crook.
time
We'll
saver
need to see the
if
whole
you're
cove to
already
get a
in
good
the
look around.
lighthouse.
Let's head
Makes
somewhere
sense,
with
right?
a great view of the hotel.
That actually
and
saves
the
you about a
grounds.
minute, depending on, where you are. So I looked through the lighthouse telescope, and that gave me the room puzzle, which is a unique puzzle. It basically sends you to one of the rooms of the game, and in this case I got the honeymoon suite. I think you have 4 different options, one of them being the game room, which is the one with the crash, which destroys the game, like I said. But, you can either have the honeymoon suite or the attic, which is part of the professor's room, that room we go up to after leaving the professor. Those are both good options. One option is the greenhouse, which is not a good option. It takes you pretty far away.
We need to take a picture of this for the crime computer.
Now,
Becky
is
can
it
help us
possible
analyze
that
this
you
clue.
can solve... that you can go to a different room? I don't know. Every time I replayed the game, I only got those 4 options. But if it was possible to, say, have the kitchen over here as one of the rooms you get sent to, then that would be a time saver, because the kitchen is slightly closer to the lighthouse. Alrighty, so now we're coming up on the endgame challenge. Barbie just needs to chase the culprit one more time, but let me go back to the honeymoon suite for a moment. You'll notice that I looked inside the cupboard and underneath the rug. That is actually a truly random puzzle. So where that key is going to change every time you save and reload the game. So if you reload the game, the key will be in a different position in that room. Granted, there are only 3 options, so it's not too randomized, but I find it interesting that for all the other puzzles, if you save and reload, the puzzles are going to be the same and they have the exact same solutions. But for that puzzle, if you save and reload, it changes. And getting back to the find a room challenge here, why do I say that the honeymoon suite and the attic are equidistant? That's because from the attic you can simply take that hidden passageway and get here to the beach cruisers in pretty much the exact same time it takes Barbie to go down from the honeymoon suite and just go outside through the kitchen. Now, it would also be okay if I got the speedboats there. If I got the speedboats, I would have wanted to get the attic, because going from the attic to the speedboats is pretty fast. It's actually pretty fast. Yeah, the speedboat puzzle's not a horrible one. I'm actually pretty good at the speedboat puzzle. I'm way better at it than this challenge. I'm worst at the hang gliding challenge. I succeed in the hang gliding challenge about once every 10 tries. With this challenge here, I succeed about once every 5 tries. Here's how the challenge works. The challenge is 2 minutes. Whenever you bump into one of those things, Barbie picks up speed. Whenever she hits a rock or a log or one of the flags, she loses speed. So you want to pick up enough speed. I think like 4 or 5 or 6 is enough speed. It's considered enough speed to have Barbie catch up to the culprit. And I beat the game. So let me prove I beat the game by showing a little bit of the ending here.
It's all over.
Okay, good. That proves I beat the game and I'm not just trying to cheat. You know, I actually lost the challenge.
If you'd like to leave the program,
so that's it for my
no.
speedrun. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.